back again. The next instalment of the interior. The dashboard has turned up now, and as per usual, it's nowhere near the kind of standard or quality I was hoping for. They said there were 2 marks on the dash, which they gave me a small discount for. But the dash is just covered with loads and loads and loads of small marks. So that's another issue. However, it may not be as bad as things sound. As I mentioned when we were fitting the seats, I was lucky enough to find the company that do all the interior trims for the car program, Car SOS, and they keep, I will put the link, I haven't yet, I will put the link to their website down below in the description box. They keep loads and loads and loads, I don't know, thousands maybe, of car colour codes listed for car interiors, so that they can mix the dye to your specific car colour. And if they haven't got your car colour listed, if you send them a sample piece of trim, they will mix it to match. They also send you a couple of tints so that you can lighten or darken the colour if your interior is faded. So that I've ordered that a couple of days ago. I'm hoping for that to turn up at any day to test try on a few small areas. As I said in the very first video on car interiors, 75%, maybe even 80% of the problem is matching the colour of the interior. The other problem that has come to light, that I've realised, is grain. Now, leather hasn't really got any grain to it. It's almost flat. Where the vinyl in the car, the vinyl dash and the old vinyl seats, they had like a fake grain in them. And obviously, if you try to repair the vinyl with a vinyl filler or a leather filler, you can't replicate that grain. So it's going to show no matter what you do. So that was, and that is another problem that I wasn't really aware of until now, until I started collecting the leather parts. So if the dye matches the colour, or it matches pretty damn close, because if it matches pretty close, I can dye the whole seat, and I can dye the whole passenger seat, and I can dye the whole complete dash, which I think with the dash is going to need the whole dash doing anyway. Which also helps with, because if the whole seats look brand new, then that's kind of acceptable, because it just looks like you put new seats in the car. And if the whole dash looks brand new compared to the rest of the interior, that's quite acceptable, because it just looks like you've put a complete brand new dash in the car, which is, you know, what you want. You want to end up with the whole interior looking brand new. So if the dye, as I say, if the dye works, if the dye matches the colour, I've been watching some videos, I can't keep drifting off here. I've been watching some videos on applying the dye, and interested, a guy was applying it with one of the application pads, the foam application pads that I use for polishing, and I use to put in the conditioner on the seats. So I will use those, and for small test areas I plan to use cotton buds to try out on it. If that is successful, then I will order the leather repair paste that they use, which again looks, from videos I've been watching, looks reasonably straightforward to apply to the leather. Also, I messaged them and asked them if you can actually mix the dye in with the filler paste, so you can colour the filler paste the same colour as the leather. I don't know whether you can or not, waiting for them to get back on to me, because that would make sense. The filler paste is white, so it would make sense if you can mix a bit of dye in with it, so it's the same grey as the leather, or, you know, a closer grey, it's going to be easier to cover with the dye when you put the dye on over the top. The dye comes with a sealer mixed in with it, so it's a one application job. It's dye and sealer together, and that should make life easier. So that's the plan. I will show you around the dash in a moment. That is the plan so far. The sealer, I think it's 65 millilitre bottle. It's about a bottle about that size and about that round in the bottle. I'll show you that when it turns up. It was £21 something for the dye, and apparently that's enough. I think they said to do a complete seat or a complete dash or something like that. But not 100% sure on that. You can buy bigger bottles if you need bigger bottles. So that's the plan forwards here, because when the dash turned up, I thought to myself, I'm going to have to put the interior on hold, because what was happening is the quality of the interior wasn't improving. The standard of the interior wasn't improving. The quality was, because you're changing it from vinyl to leather, but the standard wasn't. It was still a scruffy looking standard, and that's not what I want. That was pointless. So that's the way forward. Now, if that doesn't work out, if the dye doesn't work out to be usable or workable, I managed also to find a company in North London that do mobile, they do like the mobile smart repairs. They can refinish both the front seats for me for £270, so they will look like new. And they're prepared to look at the dash and give me a price on doing the dashboard. So that's another option. So if I try with the leather repair and the leather dye and it doesn't work, I can just have the seats redone by them, and that will solve the problem. I still come out on top because the original seats needed re-trimming. That was going to cost £750 to re-trim those, and that was half vinyl, half cloth. The leather seats cost me £390. It'll be £270 to have them reconditioned to look like new, which puts you at £660. That's a £90 saving on having the other seats retrimmed, and it also, as well as a £90 saving, you've upgraded from vinyl and cloth to leather, so it's still a result. Still quite expensive in my book, but a result. But hopefully the leather dye, I would be much happier if the leather dye and that work and I can do those myself, because to me, if you can do a job yourself, you're saving yourself a hell of a lot of money. It's a skill that you've learned, it's a skill that you can use, and it's a skill that I can pass on to you guys. So keep your fingers crossed that the leather dye colour matches and is reasonably easy to apply. So that's it. So with all that said, I'll show you around the dashboard. Oh, one other thing, I also managed to get the roll bar trims in leather, but the same problem as with the dash and with the seats, they really need restoring before they go in the car. Worst thing is some idiot tied the three bits together with a cable tie, and the cable tie has marked the leather. Idiots. So, let's show you around the dash. So there's the dashboard. I'll just zoom out on that. Now the dashboard does come as two parts. So you've got, obviously, the binnacle comes off. The binnacle has got, we can see a couple of marks. You can see there's a little indentation there, and there's a couple, there's a couple of indentations there. So that's not too bad. The downside is if I turn the binnacle, over, you can see the bottom is the black plastic. Now I saw pictures of one that I liked, and the whole thing was covered in leather, and you had, you had French stitching along here, and all of this was leather as well. But apparently it turns out that is for a 911, and it's also for the one that's got the extra clocks, the ammeter and oil pressure clocks in it. So unless you change the clocks as well, it won't fit my car. So what I'm thinking about doing is actually seeing if I can get this retrimmed in leather and the stitching done on it. Don't know what that will cost, but that's what I'm considering. So they sent me a picture of this mark here, which they said, in fairness, once your steering, once all your trim on your steering wheel and that is on, you can't see. They also sent a picture of this little nick here. This is actually cut there, and that, they said, was the 2 marks on the dash. They didn't mention anything about this, this, these marks here, all of these marks along here, these marks, where are we? These marks here, any of the marks that are around there. See, quite a bad mark there, mark there. Didn't mention these 2 dirty great big marks here, this mark here, these marks here, here, this dirty great gash there, mark, there's a mark there, it's more, it's kind of rough fill there, but you've got there, that mark there, which is obviously where someone has prized out the centre console. Same thing this side, and there. And so generally speaking, this is why I say the whole dash needs doing, because all these marks have got in. There's a, that might just be, there's another mark there, and there's a dirty great stain there. It might clean off, but even so. There you go. So yeah, this is why I've said that the whole dash really needs full restoration. If it works, or well, even if I have to have the dash retrimmed, I was thinking of doing this black trim in silver to match in with like all the silver trim that goes in the car along there. Of course, when I say I was thinking of doing that, that's a perfect job for Malcolm, because he loves doing the models and painting that. So painting that in silver would be right up his street. And if I can't get him to do it, then I'll have to mask it up and spray it silver with a spray can. Because I'm good with spray cans, Malcolm's good with brushes and models and delicate stuff like that. So, there you have it. That's the state of the dash. The roll bar trims are pretty much similar. Much smaller, so they will probably be the first project to attempt to see how the dye and that comes out. Oh, I forgot to mention, which I'm sure you've noticed, we haven't got the airbag panel. They didn't have the airbag panel. They thought they did, but they didn't have the airbag panel. But I kind of got, like with the binnacle cover, I've kind of got this idea in my head of having French stitching, double French stitching around the edge of the airbag panel, and maybe, if I can, having it embossed with 986, the letters of 986, across the front of the airbag panel. I think that would look quite cool and quite unusual, because it just would not be seen in any other Boxster. But again, it's what that's going to cost to have done. But I think that, and then the binnacle on the driver's side, that will really kind of just make the dash stand out that little bit more. So that's the plan. So obviously any old airbag panel I can get my hands on will do, as cheap as possible, to then get that sent off and recovered in the leather and the French stitching put in it and the embossing put in it. I'm sure that's going to be probably mega expensive, but to me that would make a massive difference to the whole finish on the dash. So there you go, that's the plan at the moment. I will bring you the next step, obviously, when the dye turns up, and we'll test the dye. We'll open the dye up and check it out. I'll get some cotton buds and we'll have a little play around with the dye and see basically the two things. To just recap, is how well the colour matches, and how easy it is to apply using like the foam pads and the cotton buds. So I'll bring that to you as soon as it turns up, and we can have a play around with that. So again, oh, how can I possibly forgot that? We have reached the 1,000 subscriber mark. Now, I know for a lot of channels that is absolutely nothing, but for us, of course, that's a milestone and a big step forwards. Thank you very, very much to everybody that subscribes and follows the channel, and all the input, because it makes it all worthwhile. It makes it worth sharing these things. Thank you so much from me, Malcolm, Clive, and all the rest of the team that participate in the videos. We can't thank you enough, and brilliant. So, of course, as always, keep on subscribing, keep on sharing, keep on liking, and stay tuned, because hopefully in a few days we'll be playing around with the dye and see, if we can restore leather ourselves. What a bonus, just makes life so much easier. So, see you soon. Bye for now.